Katia and Maurice Krafft, lovers of fire. They stood at the foot of Mount Unzen, Japan, cameras rolling as the mountain growled beneath them. For over 20 years, French volcanologists Katia and Maurice Krafft chased eruptions across the planet. Their films and photographs brought the unseen beauty and danger of volcanoes into living rooms around the world. On June 3, 1991, their passion met tragedy. A massive pyroclastic flow, a torrent of superheated gas, ash, and rock, thundered down the slopes faster than a car could drive. The Kraffts were caught in it, along with 40 others. When rescuers arrived, they found the couple side by side. Cameras melted but still pointed toward the mountain. They had always said, better to die at a volcano than live without seeing them. Their deaths became a symbol of fearless devotion to discovery. Guido Zamberletti, the protector of Etna. In 1983, Italy's Mount Etna erupted violently, sending rivers of lava towards small Sicilian villages. While thousands fled, Guido Zamberletti, a civil protection officer, stayed behind. His mission was to save as many as he could. He coordinated evacuations, helped build diversion barriers, and guided rescue vehicles through thick smoke and falling ash. For 3 days, he refused to leave his command post even as the lava advanced. When a lava channel suddenly collapsed, his vehicle was trapped. Guido's last radio transmission confirmed that the villages had been evacuated. Moments later, the molten river swallowed his position. Today, the hardened lava still holds the remnants of his truck, a silent monument to the man who gave his life ensuring others lived. David Johnston, the watcher of Mount St. Helens. On May 18, 1980, American volcanologist David A. Johnston was stationed 8 miles from Mount St. Helens. He had been monitoring the volcano's rumblings for months, warning that something catastrophic was coming. At 8:32 a.m., his radio crackled with his final words. "Vancouver, Vancouver, this is it." A powerful earthquake triggered a lateral blast, a sideways explosion that tore through the mountain with the force of a nuclear bomb. Within seconds, his observation post vanished under a storm of ash and fire, traveling at 370 miles per hour. Johnston's courage and data changed how scientists monitor volcanoes today. His name lives on at the Johnston Ridge Observatory, built near the place where he made the ultimate sacrifice for science. Birna Jonsdottir, the nurse who fought lava. In 1973, on the tiny Icelandic island of Heimaey, residents awoke to a nightmare. The ground had cracked open, and lava began consuming their homes. While nearly the entire population evacuated, a young nurse named Birna Jonsdottir stayed behind. She treated the injured and coordinated volunteers as they fought to save the town, using an extraordinary idea: pumping freezing seawater directly onto the lava to slow it down. Birna worked for days without sleep, drenched in ash and salt water, guiding rescue efforts until she collapsed from exhaustion. Her bravery helped save Heimaey, the only town in history cooled back from destruction by human hands. Glicken, the student who faced his mentor's fate. Glicken was a volcanologist haunted by survival. In 1980, he was scheduled to replace his friend and mentor, David Johnston, at Mount St. Helens. But a last-minute change spared his life. Johnston was killed. 11 years later, Harry found himself at Mount Unzen, Japan, studying the same volcano that would take the Kraffts. On June 3, 1991, a pyroclastic flow larger than anyone anticipated swept over the region. Harry, along with dozens of others, died instantly. His notes and equipment were found partially melted beside him, evidence of his final research. The man who escaped one volcano met his end in another, closing a tragic circle of devotion and destiny. White Island tourists, the day the Earth gave no warning. On December 9, 2019, 47 people, tourists and guides, stepped onto White Island, New Zealand's most active volcano. They were exploring steaming vents, taking photos, and marveling at the alien landscape. At 2:11 p.m., without warning, the ground exploded. A massive plume of steam and ash shot nearly 2 miles into the air. Those near the crater were killed instantly. Others ran through burning gas and ash, desperate to reach boats waiting offshore. Helicopter pilots risked their lives flying into the chaos to rescue survivors. When it was over, 22 were dead, and dozens severely burned. The tragedy sparked global debate about adventure tourism and the unpredictable nature of active volcanoes. Mount Pelée, the Paris of the Caribbean, turns to ash. In 1902, the Caribbean city of Saint-Pierre on the island of Martinique was thriving under the shadow of Mount Pelée. Warnings of danger had been ignored by local leaders, who feared panic more than eruption. On May 8th, the mountain unleashed a pyroclastic flow, a wall of fire and ash moving faster than a hurricane and hotter than molten metal. In under 3 minutes, the city was gone. 30,000 people perished. Their lives ended in an instant. Only 2 men survived, a prisoner in a stone cell and a shoemaker living far on the edge of town. The destruction of St. Pierre became one of the deadliest volcanic disasters in history, and a reminder of what happens when warnings go unheard. If you found these stories powerful, hit subscribe and share which story moved you most, because even in destruction, there are lessons worth remembering.